Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing his truth throughout the four corners of the earth and to the hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Hadabiar coming back at you with another one. And, you know, not sure I'm going to title this video, but you know, you know, and I'm just gonna go into some precepts about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is is our foundation. He's our rock. He's our rock. He's our salvation, and you know in this wicked sinful kingdom, uh people or things may try to um throw you off a little bit, and maybe steer you in other directions. you know um the heathen you know try push their ways onto Jake, you know with all this paganism and and just wickedness. But Yahweh Shem Shai is that solid foundation, and in this thing, like Apostle Gabar always says, this thing of ours, you know, we can't be moved, through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shem Shai, we're in this, we're in it to win it, and you know, no one can throw us off of this. So I want to get yeah. So basically, Yahweh Shai is our foundation. So I want to get this Matthew 24, and you see the heading, the two foundations, and it reads, "Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which has built his house upon a rock." Verse 25, "And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat up that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock." So many things will get thrown at us, many things, maybe woman, friends, job, just the ups and downs of life, you know and they'll try to throw you off, just like Job. Job had to go through many things, but you know he was grounded, you know in the Lord, and he wasn't moved, despite whatever happened. So this compares, us, and our faith and our trust, and and just the fear and just everything, that embodies Yahweh Shem Shai. No matter what, we're we won't be moved, no matter what comes our way. We're still gonna be in this thing, you know, and this is even gonna be we're gonna be really be tested, in the time of Jacob's trouble, because many things are going to happen, that hour of temptation, that chip. And and this is how we have to be. We have to be that we have to be really rooted in Yahweh Shem Shai, that no matter what our flesh may go through, that that we just continue to trust and believe in Yahweh Shem Shai. Verse 21, "Everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it." And if you know anything about like construction, I'm in that field, and when something is being built, especially these high rises, the foundation, the footings, the very bottom of that building, is built upon, heavy concrete, a lot of steel and a lot of concrete, so that you know the building will stay up, you know and like unto a fool who builds his home upon sand. You see sand, it's just like you know building a sandcastle. You build your sandcastle, and as soon as water touches the sand, that sandcastle gets washed away. you know and that's how a lot of people are. That's just how the world is. They put their trust in the system, they put their trust in men. They even put them trust in their own selves, you know instead of you know believing and trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. Verse 28, and it came to pass when Yahawashi had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. So, that Yahawashi is our foundation. He's that solid rock, that won't be moved no matter what. This is Luke 6 and 46. This is in the NLT. So why do you keep calling me Lord, Lord, when you don't do what I say? I I will show you what it's like when someone comes to me, listens to my teaching, then follows it. It's like a person building a house who digs deep and lays the foundation on a solid rock. And like I said, that's what we're supposed to do. We get rooted in this truth, and we get rooted in this truth, and through studying, through the videos, we're just really rooted in it. Read that again, verse 48. It's like a person building a house who digs deep and lays a foundation on solid rock. When the floodwaters rise and break against that house, it stands firm because it is well built. But anyone who hears and does not obey is like a person who builds his house without a foundation. And when the floods sweep down against the house, it it will collapse into deep ruins. That's people out here. That's 2/3 of our people. They don't want to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't want to get right. They don't want to they don't want to they don't want to get right now for that heavy flood that is about to to shake the world. And when I say that flood, I mean that the woes, the trials and the tribulations, the chip, martial law, great judgment that is coming. And that's why it says knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy time. Strength of salvation. This word, this truth, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna get us through anything, as long as we truly believe and trust in our power. And that's why this truth is it's life changing. You know, because we don't bug out. We don't bug out like the rest of the world. We know who our power is. We know who's in control of everything. We look through things, through a spiritual lens, and we're able to cope and just deal with whatever it is. It's not always easy, but because our foundation is solid, we won't fall. We'll stand strong. This is Colossians 2, starting at verse 7. Rooted and built up in him. That's the thing. We have to be rooted. We have to be rooted in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Always. That's how we have. That's how we have to move in this world. So read that again. Colossians 2, uh, starting at verse 7. Rooted and built up in Him, and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after a Mashiach. For in him dwelleth all fullness of the Godhead bodily. So especially like Jake will go into all these other things of the world, all these other religions, all these other philosophies, all these other sayings and teachings, and just be going off instead of being rooted and and grounded in this word, in the Bible, in Yahawashi, you know, that being being like that, will is going to stand the test of time, you know. Only Yahawashi. This is yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as he knoweth that your labor is not in vain. So you can't be unmoved, you know. Sometimes when you're in the world, people will try to come to you with the most, you know. Oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. You know, believe in this. Follow after this. Man, Jake's so lost. Sometimes, you just man, you look at people in the world and you just be like, damn, they just be lost. Like they don't know the secrets, they don't know the secrets of this word, of this book. The understanding of life, and what our purpose is to be as a Hebrew Israelite, and following after the word of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. People have no idea. It's just like today. I was at work, and one of the coworkers, offered me a slice of pizza, and it had pepperoni on it. So I was just like, nah. I was like, I'm good. He's like, he insisted. He's like, no, have a slice. I'm like, no, I'm good, yo. I'm like, I'm good, and I'm like, I don't eat pork. He's like, oh, you can just pick it off. I'm like, I don't even want to touch it, you know. And then he jokes, like, what are you, Muslim? I said, nah. He's like, oh, don't tell me you one of them Hebrew Israelites. And I just laughed. I just laughed, and I'm like, yeah, like, so what? Like, we don't care about the opinions of people. We are so, we can't be, we're not moved by the opinions of people and what they think. That's what being rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahawashi is all about. We don't give a fuck about anybody's opinions. We don't care about their feelings. All we care about is Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. We care about his opinion and how he feels about us. Because only that is what truly matters. You know, Lord willing, making onto those chariots. That's what we care about. So we don't care. We don't care about the opinions of men and what they have to say. This is Psalms 62, verse 6. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. Not be moved. You know? No, we will not celebrate Christmas. You know? No, we will not eat abominable foods. You know? Yes, we're gonna be out there every weekend, despite whatever the hell is going on. You know? That's what being, being in this thing is all about. Verse 6, he is only my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. And the Most High is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in the Most High. That's Yahawashi Yahawashi. Trust in him at all times. Ye people, pour out your heart before him. The Most High is a refuge for us. Salah. That's exactly what he is. You know, he is everything. He's a defense. He's a protector. He's a comforter. He's a teacher. You know, he is love. You know, he's also, death. It's a balance of everything. He is. That's Yahweh. He is everything. And Yahweh Shai, is our savior. He's the one that's, coming back for us. We can't wait. Can't wait, because this place sucks. This place fucking sucks. It's just the way of life here. It's just garbage. But we make do, we do what we gotta do until we get up out of here. So that's gonna do it for this lesson. I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.